Hello, Namaste, Sasrikal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. We are once again gathered here with a very eminent guest, special guest from Pan India to discuss about the topic schools in India. As we are opening up with the new session 2022-23, so we have to gear up ourselves and to be involved with the students. We have very eminent guests today. The first very eminent guest we have N.M. Bhatia sir. He is the one of the things he's doing is the member of advisory board, Prudence Group of Schools, New Delhi. Sir is the Gurgaon district coordinator for high-powered educational cell of BJP for the Haryana state. Haryana state president of Brij Bhumi Foundation for popularizing Vedic education. State commissioner of Delhi and NCR of Shanti Dham Foundation. Global executive core committee member of Global Education Fraternity. He has done honors in physics and mathematics, postgraduate in commerce, and MBA in P&A. Is an alumni of IIM Ahmedabad. Started career from the Premium Institute of Delhi Sardar Patel Vidyalaya and worked as founder, principal, and director of Chiranjeevi Bharati School, Gurgaon, principal director, Swiss Cottage School, and director academics, CPS Dwarka Expressway. Worked as director expansion, director audits for President Group, and director education for Noble High Group of Schools, and director institutions for Suryavansh Group, and director academics for DPSG groups of schools. At present, he is associated with Prudence Group of Schools as member advisor board, advisor to Samila International School, Bhilwara, member of advisory board, Rotary Public School, Gurgaon, and director academics of GD Goenka Public School, Gurugram. Sir has been awarded. And it was amazing when I was about to write his profile. I wasn't able to understand. I asked him, sir, I begged him, sir, let me know what I have to write. The director, the principal, or directors of how many schools I can write over there, sir. As of you, sir, you are multi-talented, going up to the science stream and coming up to the commerce, touching over the other side also. And so many schools you have established, sir. And it's a wonderful experience to have you over here as a guest, sir. Sir, kindly, please let us, we know you all very well, but we like to know about yourself, sir. How have you, you motivate us as an educationist, sir?
You know, I've always worked hard, and in the process, I've learned. So, working hard, learning, doing innovations, and that is how I've developed into a good educationist. Uh, I enjoy a lot of respect from my colleagues and from my students also. And I think people know me in Delhi and NCR pretty well. So, uh, I've
This,
worked with CBSE also. I've done number of confidential assignments. And one thing I inspected about 100 schools for Hindustan Times. That was a great learning because all these schools were premier schools of Delhi and NCR. So saw something good in all these schools. I'm writing a book on good practices in Indian schools. Thank you so much.
amazing, sir. And you have wonderful knowledge and have so much of experience in all the schools. And hope to have a good session with you as well as to learn something from you, sir, for sure. Thank you so much, sir, for coming, sir.
Thank you.
Next we have Monica Chapra, ma'am. She is the principal of Bitcoin International School, Pune. Although she is very down to earth with a very small profile, but I know her that she does wonders in that she's doing wonders in the education fraternity. She is the principal of Bitcoin International School, Pune, and postgraduate in mathematics from Delhi University, pursuing PhD in education. She's in education field from more than 2 decades. Received so many awards like Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Award for Excellent Board Result. She has won the letter of appreciation from Education Minister Amriti Sarani and recognized by Lokman Lokmat as school icon and many awards. Like few of them you can see behind her, and there are two rooms filled more with the awards at the back. All the people who are associated here have come over here. They are associated with so many associations on national and international level, as well as got awards on national and international level. You're wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. And let me reveal that everybody knows about that. You are so much famous on social media, Monica, ma'am, that nobody can resist to call you. I mean, so many beautiful pics you are putting up, beautiful, comments or like, what are you doing in that, ma'am? Please let us know by yourself only, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to be here. And yes, certainly, I love being on the social media. The reason being, it's not just that education is can be confided in four rooms or in school, but what I believe is that at any phase of life, whatever age we are, we all need some kind of grooming and education and motivation, right? So that's why I'm also a motivational speaker where I speak few lines about anything that's very relatable to a teacher, a student, a common man, so that somehow they feel that yes, there is still light, especially like during pandemic. In fact, I started all this during pandemic, where I used to find negativity anywhere, everywhere, and people were like feeling very kind of discouraged and disappointed. So I felt that every cloud has a silver lining to it. So where I was not on social media for more than a decade, when since Facebook started, I then thought that okay, let me just utilize this for good purpose, and that's how I now I am on Instagram and Facebook. Besides that, for sure, education is my passion. So even at school, when I speak to my students, to my teachers, I always feel like motivating them, and I feel that emotional immunity is something that brings success. So one is that your career, for sure, your family, but unless and until a person is emotionally strong, his emotional immunity is good, that person won't be able to utilize his potential to the fullest. And that's the reason I have started this, and I'm liking it. Thank you.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming. You're spreading so much positive vibes through the media and through in your kids also. That this is the need of the hour after the pandemic for the kids, especially. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Sarita Nair, ma'am. She's the principal of Chetan Dataji Gaikwad English Medium School, Pune. She's BSc, B.Ed, and M.Ed, has a teaching experience of around 30 years, a big time. And she's the principal for more than 9 years, not as 10 years up now. She believes in contributing to the betterment of the society. She uses her positive attitude and tireless energy to encourage others to work hard and succeed. She is inspired by her husband and father, who are from the army background. She has received also many awards on the national and international level, as well as associated with so many associations on national and international level. Welcome, Sarita ma'am. And first of all, I'd like to know that were you in the education by choice or by chance? And how was the journey from a teacher to an administrator, ma'am? Ma'am, you're on mute, ma'am.
A very good evening to one and all. It's really an honor for me to be part of this wonderful program, and I thank you, Mr. Tindok, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So, your question that what inspired me to be a teacher? Well, after I finished my graduation, my father wanted me to take up the professional degree of education in Ambala city, and since my mother was also a teacher, so I was inspired by her, and I took it up very lovingly. And I have been a teacher since 1987 now. And when I was teaching in my previous school, I had a lot of responsibilities, and there I learned a lot as a role of an administrator. And when this opportunity came my way, this is a wonderful school here in Khadki, which is providing English medium education to the marginalized community students of the surrounding areas. I took it up as a challenge to serve the society over here. So I'm really, really happy that I'm bringing a change in the lives of so many students over here. Thank you so
Amazing,
much.
ma'am. Amazing, ma'am. Wonderful work you are doing along with your professional work also. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Aarti Dua Kapoor, ma'am. She is the director and principal of Soraban One Step School in Mumbai. Ma'am has an experience of more than 2 decades in the education field and 3 years in the corporate world. She has and continues to serve well-reputed institutions during this time. Ma'am also specializes in teaching subjects such as economics and psychology. Along with that, she has expertise in psychological counseling and is a motivational speaker, an eloquent speaker and trainer. She's a frequent invited guest speaker at various prominent educational conferences throughout the country. In addition, ma'am has spearheaded international programs in partnership with Brisbane, Australia. She has also an integral part of various initiatives like assigned as British Council School Ambassador for the British Council. And again, ma'am is also associated with so many associations on national and international level, as well as she has received so many awards like this I have. We welcome you, Aarti ma'am. Aarti ma'am, you are also doing a very wonderful job in the education society. And I also had been observing the social media that how you are getting involved with the kids like you are a friend and not a teacher even. This is a need of the hour, as you were saying earlier also. Ma'am, please let us know about your being as a motivational speaker and how many places where you're associated with, as an you initiatives you have taken.
So thank you, Sarpreet, for calling on this platform. It's wonderful talking to you people. See, like what I think is like motivation. If I'll talk about, so it was my passion. Whenever I used to like look around and people are in like in a problem, so I always take them from the problems to the positive side. I always show them to the positive of what is happening around them. So one fine day, like my relative then was said, "Why you don't start motivation classes?" So I said, "Okay, better. I mean, I can do. I have started it as a part time because you are into education field. I have started like inculcating all those thoughts to my students also. So my students who are coming, passing out of my school, like secondary, like senior secondary, I know they will be doing their best. I mean, recently, last year, one of my students has passed IIT Delhi. So that was a big, I mean, felicitation I can feel in my life for me. So in my like own field of legend studies, I tell you, this is spending time with activities where you are actually involved, where your senses are involved, and there is an like sense is the only choice. I mean, this is wonderful. Freedom, enjoyment. I mean, regenerating is so many ways you can. I mean, use your energy. Overall, a balance between quality time away from teaching that all keeps me motivated.
That's great, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Ganesh Sharma, sir. He is the principal of Global Indian International School, Noida. He is a dedicated educationist. He has started his career with RIMC, that is Rashtriya Indian Military College, Dehradun, which is an inter-service institute and a category A established of the Ministry of Defense. He has experience of around 25 years in boarding schools as teacher and administrator in ISC, O level, IGCSE, and A level Cambridge, and in administration as a principal and headmaster with most premium institutions like RIMC, Masuri International School, Masuri, Hope Town Girls School, Dehradun, the Millennium School run by Educom, and Global Indian International School, Bangalore and Noida. He is MA in Education and MSc Computer Science. He has a CIE A-level trained teaching from CIE Cambridge, London. He has worked extensively with the CBSE, ICSE, and IGCSE Cambridge. He has expertise in curriculum designing, technology in education, assessment and evaluation, professional development for teachers, pedagogies based on ability of natural learning, various learning styles, and co-curricular activities. And his profile is so long that it will take a day's time to read about Ganesh sir. I'm so sorry I won't be able to read the whole profile. Such a vast experience you have with all the boards. People are not able to touch even the second board, and you have touched so many boards, and you have got with the boarding schools. That is the most very great experience which I even missed in my 25 years career as an educationist. Ganesh sir, welcome, and please let us know about your educational journey. What experiences you had in the different schools you have worked, sir?
So, Mr. Sarabjit, thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. And namaste and good evening, one and all. As you said, that my field was technology, and computer science was my subject and is my subject, in fact. And then I started my first assignment. I'll tell you, in Indian Military Academy, IMA Dehradun, where initially I started teaching computer science program to all the officers, on study leave. And then I was very much kind of inspired by all teaching and learning. And then I started my first formal teaching career from Rashtriya Indian Military College as a senior master and then house master. And after that, I wanted to explore international curriculum, and I had long tenure in Missouri International School, teaching Cambridge and ICSE board. And then, of course, as a leadership, I took up as a headmaster in Missouri International School, and then with different brands like Millennium and Global Indian International School, Bangalore, and then finally here in Noida for last 4 years. And it has been a wonderful journey. I'm learning a lot. It's a lifelong learning is happening, and I'm really, love children, and my teachers, and I always look forward for innovation, creativity, and something new to do. And as we all know that education is going through kind of turbulence where a lot of experiments are happening, and we are adjusting, and kind of we are adapting to a new environment. So it's really exciting. The journey has been so far for last 25 years. It's really exciting and a lot of things to learn, and really looking forward, all the challenges and all the exciting things in the field of education going forward. Thank you so much once
Fabulous,
again having me here.
fabulous, sir, fabulous, sir, and welcome, sir. Pleasure is mine. Sir, I mean, your school has more branches apart from Noida
So
branch also.
yeah, so we are international chain of schools. We are basically from Singapore. We are in right now in 9 countries with 26 schools, and probably this year we'll be in 12 countries. And India, we have 6 schools, in Tier 1 cities like Pune, Bangalore, Noida, Ahmedabad, and so on and so forth.
That's great, sir.
We
Welcome,
are
sir. Yeah,
we are
yeah.
we are offering all the curriculum, including IB, IGCSE, A level, O level of Cambridge, and also now we have started separately a British curriculum offering in some of our schools, which is another brand under our Global School Foundation, which is One World International School, where we only offer British curriculum.
That's great, sir. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for coming, sir. Even
Thank
you
you.
were busy up with some work. Next, we have a very interesting person. He is Mayank Jain. He is the a very young person, youngest of all of us, maybe half of the age of us. And he's the founder and CEO of Easy Schooling. He has obtained a degree of BTech from one of the most prestigious college in India, DCE, which is while in college, he founded a platform called Easy Schooling that would go on to become the largest admission platform in Delhi NCR, as well as more places like Pune, Bangalore, and Mumbai also. He has helped around 25,000 plus parents in their admissions journey through his Zoom sessions. He has also visited 3,000 plus schools across India and consulted and guided them on how to boost admissions. He knows the ins and outs of this field like no one else has. Let me tell you, practically, when I met him a few months back in a session where we were both of us were as a speaker somewhere, and I came to know about his concept. First of all, the youngsters who are doing engineering or studying in Delhi NCR, they don't want to stay up, don't want to go into the education field at least. But he's a person who had some incidents, and he thought that he should come up with a project where he can bridge up the gap between the schools as well as and the parents. And so he is doing a wonderful job. I won't detail what he is doing. He himself will tell that what is this easy schooling all about, and how is this project bridging up the gap between the parents and the schools. Welcome, Mr. Mayank, and please let us know about your journey. That how did you came into this project, and what is this project Easy Schooling? Over to you.
So good evening, all of you, and thanks a lot, Sarapri sir, for inviting me to this session. And before answering your question, so who haven't heard about Narendra sir from other educationists? So I have always visiting schools. So I came to know about you, and finally I've got the chance to meet you virtually, sir. And Global Talent International School and Midcon International School Pune are working really well at our platform. So good to meet the leaders of both the schools at our platform as well. My elder brother was visiting schools for his kid, and like he was very confused कि कौन से स्कूल में एडमिशन लें, कैसे लें, and बहुत ज़्यादा schools visit करने पड़ रहे थे, documents नहीं पता थे कौन से करने, तो उन्होंने 15 days की leave ली अपने office से to get his child into a school for admission. And at that point of time, I realized, yeah, like this system is totally not like helpful for parents as well as for schools. So let's bridge this gap. and build a platform for parents in schools which can help them to get into schools. So this is how easy schooling came into picture, and now we are working with around 600 schools, and around 3 lakh parents are visiting us on a monthly basis. So this is what we are doing, and because of people like Sarapri sir and other principals, by God's grace, we are doing very well and helping as many parents to get into right school. शर्मा जी के लड़के ने स्कूल में कराया है, तो हम भी स्कूल में कराएंगे. वो वाली साइकोलॉजी को खत्म करना चाहते हैं. एंड हर पेरेंट यूनिक है, हर बच्चा यूनिक है, उसके हिसाब से ही हमें स्कूल चूज करना चाहिए, ना कि हम भीड़ या भेड़ चाल के चक्कर में स्कूलों के पीछे भागें. सो दैट्स द ओनली विजन ऑफ क्रिएटिंग दिस प्लेटफॉर्म एंड हेल्पिंग एज मेनी पेरेंट्स एज पॉसिबल.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk about further about this concept in the later part of the show. Thank you and welcome, Mr. Mayank. We'll come back to the next round. I won't call it as question round because you are so eminent guest. I mean, your views on the topic. Naren sir, I'll come up to you first. We say that what are your views on the saying that the learning and teaching concept at present has changed a lot, and we'll see many changes in future also, especially after pandemic, sir. What are your views on this topic, sir?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandhok, for inviting me. Well, yesterday night I was about to retire and I got a message that today is going to be the session. And I readily agreed for this, and I'm here with you. Thank you so much, and other panelists also. Uh, I think there are a few things which I'd like to share with everyone out of my experience and what I have felt. Whatever we learn in our life, 25% of that we learn from our teachers and parents. So the first source of learning is teachers and the parents. 25% comes from them. The second 25% we learn is by interacting with our peers. So those who are with us in our school, with whom we play, with whom we interact, when we go to our college, they are our peer. When we go for work, that's our peer. So second 25% of learning is interacting with our peer. That means a good peer is essential for good learning. The third 25% we learn in our life is self-learning. You need to make effort to learn. That's how you learn. So the third 25% is self-learning. And the fourth 25% is what time is going to teach us. So that is the pattern of learning as far as what we learn in our life. And remember one thing, learning is lifelong process. It never ends. Knowledge and information is multiplying at such a faster pace. In 20 years time, it doubled. And now in every 18 months, it's doubling itself. For the storage, the storage devices are there. Google is there, Siri is there. There are so many other storage devices for information. Encyclopedias, they have stopped printing encyclopedias. Nobody is buying encyclopedias because the information is changing so fast. The children who are studying in KG classes at this point of time, the kind of jobs they are going to take up, the 90% of jobs, they don't exist at this point of time. That means the system has to change as per need of the time. We can't prepare these children for a particular profession because they don't know what kind of jobs they're going to take up. Very important thing, what needs to be done is we need to give them right kind of skills. We need to give them learning skills. Whatever we learn in our schools and colleges, not more than 10% of that we use when it comes to our life. So I think what is more important is we should have the learning skills and we should develop the other skills. There is a change in the concept as far as education is concerned. From teaching, it has changed to learning. There is the teaching by the teacher in the classroom is not very important. The children need to be prepared for learning, and once they are prepared for learning, I think learning becomes much more easy. The marks are not very important. The life is more important. Learning is more important. Degree is not important. It's the life of the child or the life of the person is more important. So marks, uh, the marks, degree, these are the things which are not very important as far as life is concerned. The knowledge and information, whatever, the earlier method or the present existing even system in the education is it's rote learning. Whatever you learn, you go and write it out in the examination. That's rote learning. The rote learning has been replaced by experiential learning. That rote learning process does not employ anymore. Now, there is an emphasis on the skills, high level skills also, and the life skills also, like critical thinking, analytical thinking, concept building, and the creative skills also. What needs to be done is children need to understand how to think, how to inquire, how to discover, how to discuss, how to analyze things. These are the things which are going to help them rather than acquiring knowledge or acquiring information. The degree what you get from your college is just going to be a qualifying factor as far as your job is concerned. Need of the time is the right kind of skills we need to have. We should have skills for performing the kind of jobs we are going to take up. And we know that different jobs require different kind of skills. Therefore, same courses cannot serve the purpose of different professions. So by keeping all these things in mind, there is a drastic change as far as the education system is concerned. It's from teaching to learning, and the life skills, the skills learning is going to be very important as far as education system is concerned. Thank you.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. You are a plethora of knowledge. You have so much knowledge that in within 2-3 minutes, you have given the gist of everything of education, the life of education, which has to go on. Thank you so much, sir. Monica ma'am, are you there? Okay, we'll come up to Sarita ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
Monica,
here.
yeah, Monica ma'am. Monica ma'am is also there. It's her turn, ma'am. Monica ma'am, we also will like to know your views on the saying that the learning and teaching concept at present has changed after pandemic a lot, and we'll see many changes in future.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thank you for this point. It's a very, hot point, I would say, because these days when we are talking about teaching and learning process, it's so much different from how it was earlier, probably 1 or 2 decades before when we were students. Now it's like the chosen learning styles of students that we need to look at first. Now we look at more creative and entertaining and joyful classrooms where the students can learn better. Earlier the teachers were provided with the textbooks, and they used to follow the textbook as Bible from word to word, and students were they were basically dependent on rote learning and the traditional assessment method, and then ranking, and that kind of procedure it was. Whereas now it is more of child-centered approach. We believe in holistic development of students. The teaching pedagogy, the pedagogical methods are also towards more child-friendly ones. We also have to follow integrated strategy where we look at their language development, numeracy, cognitive skills. We talk about STEAM these days. So this is the fundamental building blocks which includes science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So basically, it is not restricted to only textbooks or the way the teacher used to teach traditionally. Besides the curriculum, besides the academic concepts that we teach them, another important concept is the personal, social, and emotional domain, or the development of these aspects of a child along with academics. So basically, we are now looking at holistic development of children, wherein we need to ensure that a child is a happy child coming to school first. And then comes the activities or the academics. We have to not just look at their cognitive domain, but also their affective domain. Talking about cognitive domain, again, it's not, that they have to just xerox the textbooks and keep it in their mind and reproduce it when it comes to assessment, writing it on the paper, but it's like action, analysis, and application. So when we talk about action, as sir just said now, that hands-on activities and experiential learning is of prime importance. so that the concepts are understood better, and then we can make the students think out of the box. Analysis is again a very important aspect of teaching these days, because we talk about reflection. It's very important that whatever concept is taught to the child is able to observe and reflect and further investigate. So this is done through, question answer sessions and responses, so that the child is able to take the concept one level ahead. And that is how comes the third aspect of learning, that is application. So the child has done experiential learning. The child has done analysis by reflection and further investigation. He's more research oriented now. Now comes application. So how can the child actually apply that knowledge of whatever he has done in school to real life? Now, if we talk about industries, and if you want to meet the demand of the industries, it will not be just that we need doctors and engineers. The kind of industrial revolution that we are facing, that we are having now, with all the obsolete jobs gone and the new jobs coming in, the more skill oriented jobs coming, it's very important that the children are also able to apply their knowledge. When we hear that a 12-year-old child has made a software and has, sold it to a company and earned a lot. So basically the child was able to think out of the box, was able to apply, investigate, was more research oriented. So we are now, it is like an amalgamation of understanding the concepts, applied thinking, exploring, resilience also, because as I said, that values and personality also form a very important aspect of schooling these days. Because we also see that now we need counselor. What is the reason that we need counselor? Earlier there were no counselors, but now because of different issues or parameters like peer pressure, self-image, etc., we see children developing anxiety. So it is very important that the child has good self-esteem, the child has good values, the child has resilience, and the child feels motivated. So these aspects also again a very important part of teaching learning process these days, because we want them to be happy individuals, responsible individuals. It is not just coming, teaching, learning of few subjects and going back home. So social, psychological, and physical factors are equally important aspects of teaching learning process these days. The digital infrastructure that has seeped in, especially during pandemic, is also to be catered to, and it is important that we are able to reach students in remote areas. Again, that also earlier no one thought, okay, the child is coming to school, we teach the child is not coming, we mark him absent. But now it becomes our duty, and it is a part of ethics now, school ethics, that every school needs to ensure that if the child has enrolled for schooling, then even if the child is not in town, how to reach the child. So it's a completely different scenario of education. It is not at all the traditional way.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely right, because emotional touch is very important for a child's growth. If there is no, because of these 2 years, studies were going on, but there were no emotional touch, and that is why they are lacking and they are behind. Now they need emotional touch, and that is very necessary. Even the children are not coming back, responding. We have to come forward and make them, join the classes and come to the school to have the same pleasure when they had where before the pandemic. Amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we'll come up to Sarita, ma'am. Sarita, ma'am, we not want to know your views on the same. It is for sure that pandemic has brought about a drastic change in the system of teaching. What drastic changes have come during, which were before and after the pandemic as of now?
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. The COVID-19 pandemic has sparked a global realization that our current way of life does not work. And it has broken our perception that what is normal and deconstructed society as we know of it. So the need for change has become evident in education, and it has upended the life of students, parents, and teachers. The clear disruption of the normal functioning of the education has placed an emphasis on many questions which were previously asked and subsequently left unanswered. So the current effects of the global pandemic mean a lot for the future of education, which it has never seen before. The lot of factors must be considered in the modernization and the efficiency of the changes that have taken place after the pandemic. Given the period we've spent in the lockdown and the observations of our abrupt transition on online learning, we found the time to think and the direction in which we must apply our efforts. We've not only been given a chance to rethink the education, but also the opportunity to visualize how it can evolve in tandem with our changing world. The course of learning and the way curriculums are taught may change. Aspects that were once considered fundamental to education may be revised to largely accommodate life skills of the future. Not just careers, but residents of the future as well will require skills like resilience, adaptability, collaboration, communication, empathy, creativity, and emotional intelligence. Learning in schools has now a new purpose, and it is a deviation from the information folk education today. Aside from the disruption faced due to the novel coronavirus, education.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
In the face of rapid innovation, we have to shift the way in which we impart our education. Learning is the acquisition of knowledge, but it doesn't have to solely occur through age-old methods that do not utilize the highest potential of the brain. Instead of being taught, students are given an experience that influence their learnings. Approaches like integrated learning and experiential learning with greater implementation of technology will give the power, the future, the education in schools. In the face of crippling pandemic, technology has emerged as a major lifesaver, and communication is a major key to our interconnected existence, and technology is the driving force that maintains our connection. For education, that means creating content and delivery systems that harness and utilize technology to its fullest. Perhaps education may become more flexible, accessible, relinquishing its over-reliance on rigid structures that we currently consider necessary. Additionally, the current generations of school students are the generations from Alpha to Z. They are generations that are defined by the use of technology. It has become an extension of their consciousness that they do not know a world without it. The future of education will find no room to ignore the utilization of technology, since it may very well be best platform to empower learning in an age that is integrating technology as a way of life. These generations could influence the evolution of education, as they themselves are the ones majorly impacted by the pandemic and are in the best position to learn and grow from it. How will we ask our students to go back to a way of life that compromises their physiological, emotional, and mental health? Will we still ask students to get up to attend the school at a time when their brains aren't suitably active? Will we teach students about protecting the environment? Perhaps education will embrace learnings from science and emphasize greater focus on issues that endanger our health, society, life, and it has forced parents to be teachers. Getting accustomed to change. Teachers are trying tools that can be transformational. Students are motivated for self-study. Teaching has become more flexible. And I conclude by saying that blended learning, flipped learning, teaching has undergone a complete change after we come back to school. Thanks to pandemic.
That was the only positive thing of the pandemic, ma'am, because it has brought the technology 10 years before it would have come. And that is a positive science. When you are using the thing for a positive or a good thing, it is always a helpful as a tool. Blended learning will go on forever as of now. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Dr. Aarti, ma'am. Your views on the same topic, saying that pandemic has brought out a drastic change in the system of teaching.
Yes, I think pandemic has changed the education system totally, and it is perpetual. This is true for the coming generations as well. one fine day, you woke up and realized everything is into 3 by 7 inch handset. Your office, your market, your holidays. Even now your school also. So all of a sudden, mobile become the most used device in the world. The favorite gadget ever. But I'll tell you, actually, world's well preparedness with the extensive and the robust mobile network, you could say, and affordable data has made this shift actually possible. Traditional classrooms no more existing now. The extensive use of this computers, handsets, teachers reported being busier than ever before in the school building, close as they were expected to present as available in the working hours as well as non-working hours. During your lunchtime, students groups arriving, leaving, coming out, coming. Throughout the day, the whole process went on. If they're not in the classroom, they are preparing the content. So all of this took place while trying simultaneously instruct their own kids at home do this and that and not moving from the camera. We can't deny the fact that digital technology has brought remote learning opportunities and access to high quality education, even in the rural and semi-urban location, which was not possible for the coming like a 20 years. We have actually taken a 20 years lead. Platforms use innovative technologies like AI and cloud computing, which we might be thinking for the coming 25 years, which play a role in the personalizing and enhancing education among students. We have experienced a new trend of the blended learning model. Now, schools are even using hybrid models. They all come up we never thought about, and now so perfectly we people are using. We also need to acknowledge that the transition of virtual learning was challenging for all stakeholders. Let it be say parents, students, teachers, administrators, even we as our educational leaders. It was really tough. Learning provider provided flexible learning schedules, which were not like earlier. We never like said that we always wanted to sit in the class and with the discipline. Students are more connected to the teacher in this novice environment, which we never like allow people to talk to the like teacher or the principal. Parent-teacher collaboration becomes so positive and transparent now. Every like teacher, even as a principal, as a admin people, they are equally available to the parent. So this online system has permitted deep analytical summarizes of students' progress, and thus surviving in this novice environment of keyboards, voices like "Am I audible? Sorry, there is a glitch," and now everyone is a computer savvy. So I think this is a great like thing pandemic has.
Amazing. There's some technical issues, although ma'am had completed. Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. Your views are very great, and we have understood that concept what you wanted to tell. Next, we'll come to Ganesh Sharma, sir. I hope you're there, sir.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes, sir. We students are now we say after pandemic, because in these 2 years, a lot of changes have been made. Students have become more smarter than teachers. What is the role of teachers in present era, sir? Because we had been seeing that the students they have been putting on the camera and with their video off and moving throughout the home and not studying with the teacher. If the parents are saying that why aren't you studying, so the only answer they're getting is that we have so many apps in YouTube. They can go and learn over there. So how? What are your views to the teachers or their comments to the teacher? What are the role of a teacher at this present time? That how can they become so effective that the students learn from them?
Thank you for your question, Sarabjit ji. I feel that as far as a comparison between teachers and students, we should not do that way. That they are smarter or less smarter. But what I feel there has to be a proper correct between student and teacher. But having said that, I must say that we all have seen and we all have experienced during this pandemic that teachers have really gone extra mile. They have the shift happened overnight from offline classes to online classes, and you have seen that each and every teacher, whether it is your language teacher or everybody, they learn very quickly. They adopted, and because that happened, because this is what we know and we have experienced for ages that we change when there is no option, and we do not change when we have too many options in front of us. So probably we did not have any option, and that was the only option, and this is the reason that the teachers they really worked hard, and they, I must say that they are smarter. But what I'm saying that when we come to relationship between, teachers and students, there has to be proper connect. There has to be proper bond. I mean, it should be in a way that they communicate with each other for the benefit of the students. There has to be a bonding rather than we have any kind of a comparison. There should be a kind of a well connectivity with each other, so that the learning and teaching process can happen properly. And I think teachers have played a very important role last 2 years, past 2+ years, in delivering the curriculum. Outside the classroom, I must say, outside the classroom, they have done a remarkable job. But going forward, this challenge, I would say, I mean, it's, as I said in during my introduction, that it's really exciting phase where we are seeing that kind of we are incorporating different technology, methodology, whether blended learning or synchronous or asynchronous learning. These kind of things are happening, and I can say that 2025 and 2030, I mean, we will see a remarkable kind of a shift. We will see that the kind of change, whether the teaching methodology, the way we deliver the curriculum is going to change drastically. And I think everybody is kind of preparing and kind of adopting and changing themselves. Still, this academic session, if you see, when we are, as you said, that we are closing and opening, that we are having different challenges comparing to the past academic session. So we are now thinking about hybrid classes. Now we are thinking about how we're going to run physically, completely physically, or partially physically, or offline, online. These all challenges are there, and we are learning a lot. Teachers are learning a lot. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, sir. Thank you so much for your views, sir. We'll come up to Mayank, Mayank sir. Mayank ji, we will like to know two things. First of all, we like to know that how does your platform works? Because suppose I'm a parent and I'm confused. I do not want to take 10 to 15 days, as you said, leave for going visiting the schools. Even I go to the schools, I can go up to the reception only. I cannot go inside the school. Some schools they allow you to visit the whole school. If you are going during the school, when the school is working, they won't allow you. So how it is, how are you helping the parents like this, as well as what are the expectations of the parents also when you have the sessions with them?
So thanks a lot, Sarapi sir. So as all the principals told over here that Naren sir, Aarti ma'am, Ganesh sir, and Monica ma'am, Sarita ma'am told ki nowadays experiential learning, parents focus, students growing holistically. So there are multiple factors that have come into the picture from a kid growing from 3 years to 18 years of age. And 90% of a brain development of a kid happens in initial 5 to 6 years. So choosing a right school for a kid by a parent is the most important parenting milestone. तो हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ किसी भी स्कूल में एडमिशन करा दे वो नहीं हो सकता. Similarly, our platform helps parents with multiple facilities, parameters, fee structure, and other things that are present in our platform that a parent can go through. As well as I have sessions with admission seeking parents every week. So I have already guided around 7,000 to 8,000 admission seeking parents through these Zoom sessions. So whenever those parents come to me on Zoom session, तो ऐसे एक parent आया मुझसे कहता, मैंने शायद पहले भी शेयर करा है कि सर कोई ऐसा स्कूल बता दो जिसमें मैं एडमिशन कराऊँ तो मेरे बच्चे का एडमिशन IIT में हो जाए. तो मैंने कहा सर ऐसा कोई मशीन नहीं बना हुआ कि आपने स्कूल में कराया और आप IIT में निकला आपका बच्चा. So this is not possible. So parents come up with very different kind of expectations. Like कोई IIT आता है, कोई कहता है मेरे बच्चे को क्रिकेटर बनना है या कोई मेरे बच्चे को क्या बनना है. So all those kind of mindset or expectations parents have. But I think now with parents, millennial parents who are getting educated are coming up with some realistic expectations, and बच्चे की growth के लिए parents, teachers, schools इन तीनों का एक साथ में काम करना बड़ा जरूरी है. साथ में मिलके एक ट्रायंगल फॉर्म करके और बच्चे को एपिसेंटर लेके ही बच्चा ग्रो कर पाएगा. हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपनी एक्सपेक्टेशंस की तरह अगर ये सोचे कि स्कूल में डाल दिया और काम हो गया, तो वो मेरे को नहीं लगता. मेरे को लगता है वो 50% वर्क डन है, 50% स्टिल इट इज लेफ्ट. सो वी हैव टू वर्क टुगेदर And that's what I clearly communicate to the parents. You cannot only expect it from schools, and schools will not expect anything from you. It's a partnership that needs to go in and allow the parents student to grow holistically. So this is how it works, and this is the same thing that we are communicating through our platform and helping parents to apply online into schools. So this is how it is happening.
Great, great. That's wonderful. It's a great help. And once I visited your website also and saw that the city's name is over there, which city you are belonging to, and you can go in over there. And there are small websites you can go and compare up the features of the schools according to the expectations. You told for Arjun also you told us that there are around 8 to 10 parameters on which the admissions work. Very good.
Absolutely.
That's great, sir. Thank you so much. We'll come up to the next round, and a very short answer will be needing because of shortage of time. We'll come up to Naren sir. Naren sir, do you believe that blending teaching will be a part and parcel of education in India? Because teachers or educationalists, they have different views. They said this is, they are more dependent upon the machines rather than the teachers. And at our time, as we were saying, or you may sometimes say that at our time, the things were more good and more comfortable as compared to this. So, what are your views on or a belief that that blended learning will be a part and parcel of education in India?
Right. The last 2 years have been really bad as far as education sector is concerned, as far as schooling is concerned. To be more precise, I'll say that for 80% children going to school, this was almost a 0 year. Almost for 80% children, those who come from remote areas, those who come from villages where the technology, where the internet is not available. So this COVID has definitely affected learning as far as the children from government schools or from the schools, remote area schools is concerned. The role of a teacher cannot be replaced by anything else. The teacher still enjoys very important role as far as learning is concerned. When a child goes to school, 1/4 of the learning is academics, but 3/4 of the learning is so many other things what children learn when they go to school. So blended teaching is going to be teaching being done by the classroom teacher, at the same time use of technology also. Of course, this COVID has expedited coming of technology into the classrooms pretty fast, not as expected, but I think it's need of the time. The blended learning, the blended teaching is going to be very important. You know, uh, Even according to the national education policy, uh, the digital education is one thing on which government is working. The content is being prepared in 8 regional languages and will be available in remote areas also, where the good teachers or where, the kind of technology what is required in good school is not available. So blending teaching is need of the time, and I think this is something which is going to be part of the system. Uh, either By using technology, you can learn much better because what you see and what you hear, both the things are going to be there. Uh, I have a strong feeling that combination of both classroom teaching and use of technology is going to be definitely in the benefit of the education. Thank you.
Obviously, sir, thank you so much. And I remember now teachers even say that we used to respect our teachers till now. We are respecting our teachers till now, but students don't respect. So we all say to our teachers that you don't get respect, you have to earn your respect.
Yes.
Students have become more smarter now. Actually, what I believe is it was actually a fear. You will be caned if you are not respecting your teachers. That was a fear. But the students now, they are very smart. Even the class 2 or the one grade student will also understand you are giving to him or not. If the teacher is giving to him, he will respect that particular teacher who he loves, because they will, children always wait for the next day. My English teacher will be coming and will be studying from her because she is giving. My Hindi teacher, no, no, वो तो ऐसे ही है. Why she doesn't teaches us good, so they won't like her. So that means you have to earn your respect, and you don't get your respect. And blended learning, of course, has removed this misconception of the teachers that if you will not get yourself perfect and will not give it to them, because I remember, sir, Naren sir, that and all esteemed guests present over here, 25 years back when I joined the first school, I went to my principal and I thanked him, sir, thank you so much for keeping me. He said, don't thank me, thank to these students who have kept you. They keep you inside the school and they are the people who show you the way out of the gate. And that thing has clicked me around 20, from last 25 years. This is more important that the children are so smart. Now they have become more smarter after the pandemic for sure. Thank you, Narendra. Thank you so much, sir. I'll
Thank
come
you.
up to Monica, ma'am. Monica, ma'am, we would also like to know your views on the same. That you believe that the blending teaching will be a part and parcel of education in India after the pandemic from the new session.
Well, sir, blended teaching is the demand of the day. Blended teaching and learning basically includes e-learning, it includes face-to-face learning as well as distance learning. So an amalgamation of these three bring us to blended learning. In fact, even when COVID gets over, it could be that due to certain circumstances, the weather conditions and all, probably 10% of teaching will still happen online. And besides that, in blended learning, why it is important is because the concept explanation becomes very better. So if you talk about traditional way to teach a concept wherein you are, using just the chalk and duster method and a blackboard method, now the concepts will be explained in a more efficient manner by using PPTs and videos and different technological softwares, GeoGebra, etc. So that helps a lot. Also, blended learning makes education more accessible because it can go beyond classroom hours for sure. As I mentioned earlier, also that if we need research oriented minds, it is very important that they explore. So they should feel connected or they should have the flexibility to access. That enhances their interest and the outcomes are also more successful. So being more accessible also generates interest in students and it helps. Then when we talk about blended learning, the different softwares or apps or games that we use, so they are more engaging. And since they are more engaging, the students they start getting more interested, and they also are able to learn at their own pace. Because when we talk about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, one is the way the child hears, whether it's audio or visual or kinesthetic. So this involves a lot of, aspects of Howard Gardner's theory and the pace. So in a class where, we may have good learners, we may have slow learners. So to maintain a balance in such a classroom of multi-skilled or differently abled or differently skilled students, this kind of blended learning approach will help a lot, and it also helps in reducing the stress of the students. And children also find a better opportunity to connect with their teachers, their professors. So for sure, I feel that blended learning is going to help a long way. It is going to be more productive, I would say. And whatever assimilation of information or understanding of concept happens in blended learning, it cannot happen just based on traditional method. So when we talk about different ways of learning, when we incorporate all that, for sure the quality of education enhances. There's more participation from the students, there's more active participation from the students. The assessment also is in a multiple way when we talk about blended learning. So the way, the traditional way of assessment and using assessment using technology, and when it is blended learning, the different multiple assessments that we can use also will have a superior hand over the traditional method. So this is now set in the system, whether we want it or not. In fact, all educators do want it. So it is now very well set in the system, and which is, of course, very important. You cannot imagine education now without blended learning, I would say, or a good quality education without blended learning.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You're absolutely right, because now in the first year there were problem in the starting, but even the remote areas now the teachers know how to take online teaching and how to go up with the technology. And because students also they have come up with all this in pan India. Because when we are talking about any topic, we are not talking about our schools only. We are talking about the schools in pan India. India is an agriculture country, and we had to cater off everything, the technology as well as the network issue and everything. For sure, ma'am, this blended learning will go on for ever now in India now. Thanks to only thanks the only one point for the pandemic to thanks to. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We'll come up to Sarita ma'am now. Sarita ma'am, we like to know your views about saying that what should be the role of an administrator in shaping up the future of children.
Thank you, sir. The role of an administrator in shaping of the future of the children is a large one. First of all, uh, the administrator must have the quality of sharing the leadership with the teachers, because in a way the teachers are going to shape the students and it's going to be a teamwork. So for that, the administrator must have high expectations for all. That is the key to the success. To prepare the students for the future, we must give students as much control of their learning as we can. If we shift constantly, students will need to be able to learn on their own. We can empower them to find out what they need when they need it. We can help them to tailor their education to what works for them so that they'll know how to do it later. As an administrator, I would like to help the students become adept at learning new tools. Not long ago, many schools focused on teaching students Microsoft Office. It was the gold standard of digital productivity and a necessary tool to use. Now the world has changed and more options exist for getting things done. So we need to teach the students these kind of skills. We encourage the students to give it a shot, make friends with uncertainty and change. People often get stuck with the same job for many years, but nowadays people are just shifting their job. So we need to let the students know that they can keep on trying. They must have some innovative thinking also. We can encourage the students to try out new things, whether they are completely sure whether it will work or not work. That is a lesson that we have learned from pandemic as well. Give students opportunities to be creative. If these students they go appearing for the jobs, creativity is a skill that we can help the students to develop. Plus, it's a skill that is increasingly necessary where more cognitive complex jobs are in demand. We can let students flex their creativity muscles in their work and in our classes. Put students in situations where they must communicate. Communication is a skill that has served people throughout the ages, and it is also one that needs more focus, as text messaging and social media has made it less face-to-face and often more shallow. So we can give the students opportunities to become good communicators in many different types of communication by giving them opportunities to participate in debates, in speeches, extempores, etc. We connect the students globally. We get them opportunities. The digital communication makes virtually anyone around in the world accessible. So pulling in ideas and working together with people around our cities, states, countries, and beyond isn't just possible, it's easy now. And we can put students in touch with people with different viewpoints, perspectives, and experiences. And we can show them how to make those connections for themselves. We can also help students to think of adding value. One of the most important skills one can bring to them is the ability to add value, and adding value can take many shapes. We can help the students to take the mindset of finding creative ways to help, and they'll find new ways to become valuable to their employers in future. We must encourage the students to find their own place in the world and be mindful. Many entrepreneurship experts say that it has never been easier to start a business. Anyone can establish a voice in an industry, develop a platform for getting that message out, and create an authority. We can help students to develop broader view of what's possible to earn a living by encouraging them to make their own way. Also put students in a position where they must think on their own feet and determine their own goals. Quick thinking and adapting on the fly are skills that aren't going away, and those skills are that can be developed too. They are not innate gifts. We can help students practice coming up with good ideas on the spot so they are better at it when they leave. We can help the students think about novelty, new ideas, especially when they are acted upon and carried out. You don't need a brand new idea that no one has ever thought of. Often, a new spin on an old idea has value, and so does an old idea with its focus in a different place. We
So,
can help students practice generating new ideas or new versions of old ideas so they'll be able to create new products, practices, or jobs later.
thank you so much,
Teaching them
ma'am.
problem solve.
Ma'am, what I heard from you and like to summarize is that first of all, personal touch is needed with the use of technology, with their comfort zone, because it is a child-oriented education now, not a teacher-oriented education now. What I feel is what you want to express is that child-oriented study should be made. He doesn't want to use the books or he doesn't want to do according to the traditional method we are doing. Let the child do whatever he wants according to the new era or the new system or the new technology he wants to use, but with a personal touch. Of course, we should say that nobody can replace a teacher, but with the use of technology as a tool, the teachers can play a very important role. And at the very same time, the administrator has to take care of this, that the teachers as well as the students, because now what the principals have started doing is that they are going and calling the students in the garden. They are going and sitting with them, talking about their personal issues also, so that make them feel that the administrator is concerned to them. Now you cannot make it like this, that principal, oh, principal sir or principal ma'am is coming, you need to have a lot of fear. That scenario has changed, like Naren sir also said, and all the esteemed guests said this, because whatever is happening till now before the pandemic, now everything will be different, nothing is added. Now the shift has come up to the very new thing. Nothing of the old is going to happen over here. This is what I think you want to say, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Arti ma'am. Arti ma'am, in precise also in 1 or 2 minutes, we like to know your views also on the saying that what is the role of administrator in 2 lines, that in fetching a shaping up the future of the children. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Hello. I'm not on mute.
No, it's fine, ma'am.
So I was thinking like I'll be giving a very crispy answers. Educational administrators definitely like they work for school, but they are not teachers. They are responsible for overseeing the administrative duties at school, but they ensure a safe or productive learning environment. And nowadays, they entirely look up to the school to ensure that teachers have their logistics. They carried out so that they can carry out their learning process smoothly. Apart from this, taking care of parental concerns, taking care of the EQ of a like child, everything they have to look after. An education administrator does.
There's some technical glitch. Arti ma'am, you can rejoin because you're not, you have stuck up to a statue position. You can, if it's not working, you can leave and rejoin again. We'll come back to you again. There's some technical glitch over there, and ma'am will rejoin. That's not an issue. We'll come up to Ganesh sir. I think Ganesh sir, you are over there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes, sir. Sir, all the stakeholders, because we need cooperation. If we want to do the betterment of the child, all the stakeholders should cooperate with the head of the institution to bring about the all development, round development of the children? Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I was just asking that. What are your views on the saying that all the stakeholders should cooperate with the head of institution to bring about all-round development of the child?
Thank you for your question, Sarabjiji. I think the stakeholders play a very, very important role. In fact, they are kind of if I would say, heart and soul of of the organization. And I would rather say that nowadays all the stakeholders they carry a unique experience and different experience, and they contribute in a different way. And I think they should cooperate and support head of the institution. At the same time, head of the institution should play a very important role, touching all the stakeholders and realizing what kind of a contribution they can how they can contribute to the system. It is very important that we understand their the contribution, their value. And because we ultimately, if you see, whether it's stakeholders or head of the institution, teachers or anybody, everyone is working for that common objective, and that is the development of the students or children. And that's the common goal that we all have. So I think it's a clear partnership between school management, head of the institution, and all the stakeholders, in for parents, on staff, for teachers, everybody. There has to be a perfect harmony among all of them, because we all are working for that common goal, and we should always keep in mind the interest of the children first. And this is how it's going to work. And the head of the institution, or the teachers, the school management, should come forward and involve all the parents or stakeholders and engage them, and communicate with them. This is the age of communication. Communication plays a very important role. You communicate with them, and a lot of things will become very easy, very easy. Otherwise, a lot of misunderstanding that we have seen in past without communication. So I think this pandemic, during pandemic, the way we have communicated, very simple example, I keep giving it to all the teachers in every forum wherever I speak. Nowadays you hardly see parents coming and saying to the principal that your teacher is not teaching properly, because the parents are directly or indirectly part of the classroom, and they're seeing how hard they're working, how hard teachers are working, which was unlike 2-3 years back, when they used to come and say, oh, no, in class my child did not understand, teacher did not teach properly. So this is what I'm saying: transparency and the communication is playing a very important role, and there has to be perfect partnership between all the stakeholders and head of the institution, and they should cooperate with each other, keeping it in mind the interest of the children, development of the children. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect, sir. Perfect. Thank you so much. Aarti ma'am, over to you again.
So I was saying like the entirely like look up to the school and ensure that teachers have all adjusted they're required for the learning process clearly. I think all staff members who work for the school, starting from teachers to housekeeping, all need to report to the administrator. And that is why the education administrator has a liability of school's reputation. And administrator ensures that students, teachers are collaborating towards a common goal while improving standards and opportunities. Together with proper leadership, school system can meet goals set forth for, maybe boards or maybe foster students that are highly educated and prepared for the future. Since the entire responsibility of the school is in the hand of an administrator, hence he or she have the ability to manage but logistics and events or maybe the meetings. Most importantly, an administrator must always ensure a healthy learning environment, I think is an important thing as a leader you have to do. I mean the safety and the security of the students also. So there are many responsibilities of an educational administrator. The entire functioning of the school totally depends on how effectively you are thinking and you are carrying out your process. If you are a proper planner, you will see people around you is they are into the proper planning system and they are into proper like a cubics they are standing in. Otherwise, everything will be in a fuss. So, in a nutshell, I can always say leader must possess that leadership skills, that maybe HR skills, that problem solving skills, planning, organization, and must be an, I can say, all rounder personality. And then you can run the institute very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. We'll come up to Mr. Mayank. Mayank sir, we'd like to know more about easy schooling, how it is helping the parents. I mean, how are you, bridging up the gap? Because we had seen during the pandemic, especially in the first year, the parents have created a lot of problem in all the cities that, we don't want to send the kids to study because pandemic चल रहा है, प्री प्राइमरी डाल के क्या करेंगे, द पैंडेमिक ओवर हो जाएगा, बच्चे की छोटी क्लासेस ही तो है अभी. So what type, because you deal with the parents directly. So what type of different situations you come to know and how do you counsel them that even it was pandemic and now even onwards, why it is so important to get studied?
So यहाँ पे ना like we need to understand 2 to 3 things कि जो last 2 years का learning gap हुआ, I would not say online classes 100% हमारा learning को ensure करती है जो schools में होती है. It's 60 to 70% of what offline schools can offer. Second thing, जो last 2 years का learning gap हुआ है वो next 18 years या 15 years में उसके repercussions हमें समझ आएंगे. So I think not opening the schools on time or parents not sending the students on time is a very big mistake. एंड एक उसके लिए एग्जांपल था, एक डॉक्टर पेरेंट थे गाजियाबाद के, तो उन्होंने मुझे, मतलब मैंने शायद पहले भी शेयर करा कि डॉक्टर पेरेंट थे, तो उनकी बेटी थी 4 साल की और उनको ABCD तक लिखना नहीं आता था. तो मैंने कहा सर आपने स्कूल क्यों नहीं भेजना शुरू करा, स्कूल में ऑनलाइन क्लासेस क्यों नहीं स्टार्ट करी अभी तक. कहते मयंक अभी फीस देके क्या फायदा जब स्कूल्स ऑनलाइन हो रहे हैं. तो दिस वाज द स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम अ पेरेंट हु वाज अ डॉक्टर. And that kid's brain development or the development that needed to be happen in that 3 year to 4 year वाला चीज वो नहीं हुई. तो उसके जो लर्निंग ऐप है KG फर्स्ट में उसको स्कूल्स को बकअप कराने में काफी टाइम लगता है. एंड आफ्टर टॉकिंग टू मल्टीपल schools directors principals I realized that all of them are doing their best to actually bridge up that gap. So similarly we communicated with the parents and एक बड़ा अच्छा campaign हमने run करा था कि instead of ordering food on Swiggy Zomato you can pay school fees. तो those kind of things we ran and parents खाना तो बाहर से मंगा लेते, बच्चे की पढ़ाई पे ध्यान नहीं देते. So that should be the focus rather than doing unnecessary expenses that are not required during the COVID. So those kind of campaigns we did to make awareness about why they should join online school or go back and send their kid to the school. So that's how we are communicating with the parents and helping bridge up that gap between parents and schools.
Are you promoting any schools on a website or it's the journal platform? How it is working?
No, we are not promoting any school directly. It's just a listing that is done for all the schools. We are an unbiased platform towards any school. So any school can register themselves and start accepting application. Yes, it happens because we have a huge parents traffic. So obviously the number of applications, the number of inquiries for the school admission increases. 100% increase होता है एक applications में, admissions में, जो भी school हमारे साथ register करता है. और सामने से parents आके हमें बोलते हैं कि ये schools आपके साथ क्यों नहीं register है, हमें कितना easy हो जाता अगर ये schools आपके platform पे होते. तो we have recorded testimonials of parents, of hundreds of parents coming and saying to us why these schools don't come to your platform and register themselves. So that's the kind of help that the schools and parents are getting with the help of our portal.
So do you have schools who don't not seeking for admissions even, उनको admission नहीं भी चाहिए?
Yeah. All the kind of schools. I will not say कोई school अच्छा होता है कोई school बेकार होता है, सारे schools same level के हैं. Even Delhi Public School, DPS, GEMS, multiple kind of schools are present on our platform and they are accepting applications through us.
Those are the schools who don't need admission but still they are on the platform.
Absolutely.
Because the reason is they want to showcase that they are over there in the market. We have seen so many branded schools, they are giving up the ads just because the people should know that we are present. Your presence is needed at all. And this is an easy platform. That is why you have made it the name Easy Schooling. It's the easy platform. ERA is what I think educationists, whoever are present over here, esteemed guest. Even I felt when I met him that it is, in short, we can say just like this what you call Flipkart and Amazon. Amazon makes things so easy. We want to buy a mobile, we want to buy anything. We can just click it over there and we can know the pros and cons and everything. We can see the things which are suitable to us. So whatever is suitable, we are looking for the fees part. We are looking for the, the curricular activities or education or horse riding, anything we are looking after. We can cater it over there and we can see which school will be suitable for us. Like you said, that कि वो मिश्रा जी का बेटा वहां जाता है, हम भी अपने बच्चे को वहां करा देते हैं, लेकिन कराने के बाद पता चलता है कि है वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस के हिसाब से हमारा स्कूल शायद नहीं था. So there you can go up to the expectations, your expectations. You can go to the platform. You can make a unbiased judgment where your child should go, and that is a very helpful. And Mr. Man, I will say to God even that help you out, and you should reach Pan India because you're doing a wonderful job, and you had your family business. You had the opportunities to go abroad after doing engineering, but you came into education field, which the most of the the youngsters, they are not ready to come into the education field in any way. So I wish you all the best. And if you're coming to UP in Kanpur, so my school will be the first one to get associated with you. Yeah, all the best to you. We'll come up to the last part of the show. It is a very secret one and a 5 minutes or 10 minutes show. Part only. That whoever comes over here in this show has to sing 2 lines. It may be filmy, it may be patriotic, it may be religious, it may be anything, and in any language you can sing. It is a humble request to all of you that a two lines, and Naren sir is a senior one. Sir will sing only 2 lines, a very beautiful song of his time, which we can get inspired. Sir, everybody is singing over here. You see, we all of us are with the children. So our age is between, like Monica ma'am also said, I think, okay, there is a child in everybody's heart. And we do not grow above 3 to 18. Hamari age kya hai? We are between 3 to 18. We never grow up. We are not 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever it is, sir. Naren sir, you are a source of inspiration always for thousands and lakhs of us. So I hope you will start up. And by that time, Ganesh sir and Monica ma'am and Aarti ma'am and Sarita ma'am will also, think over that how they should follow you up, sir. Any 2 lines, sir? Sir, you're on mute, sir. Sir, you're on mute.
Rather than singing a song, I'd like to say a few lines which we used to say in our assembly every day. स्वयं विधाता हो हे मानव, अंतर में विश्वास जगाओ, चलो न मिटते पद चिन्हों पर, अपने रास्ते आप बनाओ, अपनी आत्म ज्योति से पुलकित, अपने सूर्य स्वयं बन जाओ. Thank you.
Amazing, sir.
Very
Amazing.
nice,
Thank
sir.
you.
I would like to compliment. Beautiful lines. Thank you.
Beautiful lines.
Thank you.
So, Monica, ma'am, you are a superstar, ma'am. You have to take up the, the heading with this thing. To
All
sing a
right.
song, ma'am.
So I'll sing 2 lines of my favorite song. Though I'm not very good at singing, but still, yes. दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरे मन की भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
See, ma'am, I'm going to talk to the Indian Idol people that they should start up, a one, season for the educationists, the principals and managements, where only the principals and management will participate. And I have watched so many principals and management who sing so beautifully that, of course, they will get the awards. Sir is already having so many awards. One more will be added to Sir for sure. He is an inspiration for us. Aarti ma'am, I think you will.
Sir, yes, sir. Because I
Your turn.
will join ma'am's song. 1 year older, 1 year wiser. So 1 year taller and stronger and bright. So maybe we'll reach that height. So where we can always say like education is what made us more brighter than the star, sun. So thank you. Thanks for calling, and this is wonderful listening everyone.
But ma'am, we will like to have 2 lines from your side, ma'am. A song, ma'am. This won't do, ma'am. You are an all-rounder. I say educationists, they are genies. They know everything. They know everything. They have smiling faces with everyone, all the stakeholders. Okay, nothing is impossible. I am possible. This is the
Thank you.
ma'am. Only 2 lines, ma'am. You haven't sung anything, ma'am. You
Two
can't say
lines
thank you.
of,
2 lines of any song, patriotic, religious, filmy, original, anything. Although I
just
think you are a Punjabi.
give me 1 minute to think. I'll come back.
Sure, ma'am. By that time, Sarita ma'am will lead the show. Ganesh sir, I hope you're ready, sir. After this, Ganesh sir, I hope you're ready after this.
Okay, I'm not too good in singing, but then I'll just try. पिघला दे जंजीरें बना उनकी शमशीरें कर हर मैदान फतेह ओ बंदिया कर हर मैदान फतेह घायल परिंदा है तू दिखला दे जिंदा है तू बाकी है तुझ में हौसला तेरे जुनून के आगे अंबर पनाहे मांगे कर डाले तू जो फैसला रूठी तकदीरें तो क्या टूटी शमशीरें तो क्या कर हर मैदान फतेह कर हर मैदान फतेह कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदिया हर मैदान फतेह.
Beautiful, beautiful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. So when your teachers and your students and your colleagues will see this, they will feel proud of you, ma'am, Sarita ma'am. Ganesh sir, over to you, sir. Ganesh sir.
Yeah, okay. I'll just try. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll just sing 2 lines of a song which I've recently heard.
It's a video.
Video on नहीं है?
नहीं, sir.
Video तो on.
Now you're there, sir. Now you're there, sir. Sir.
Okay. I'm very bad in remembering the lyrics and all, but I'll try. निगाहें इश्क न जाने ये राह दिखा देती है जहाँ हो दिल का ठिकाना ये राह बता देती है मुसाफिर हूँ मैं फिर भी मंजिल पास तो है चलते चलते यूं ही कोई मिल गया था सारी राह चलते चलते सारी राह चलते चलते यूं ही कोई मिल गया था. थैंक यू.
अमेजिंग सर. यू आर, कहते हैं ना हिंदी में आप सुपर स्टार निकले सर. आप इतना बढ़िया गाते हैं आप, यार मुझे गाना नहीं आता. You will go into the finale, sir. When we'll have the show, you will go into the finale. Whenever we'll keep a physical program somewhere in Delhi or NCR, so we'll be having this session also, and probably you will go to the finale for sure, sir. And Naren sir, so for sure is going to take up the trophy in some category for sure. And he's so inspiring and all rounder. Thank you so much, Mayank. You had been. I mean, we wish you all the best, and I hope everyone of us will support him as a youngster. I feel that sometime he had been the student of our school, and he has started up with a good initiative, and we will help him out with all the things because he's providing us help also. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you Naren sir for sparing up a special time. Aarti ma'am, Monica ma'am.
I'll end up with the song.
Sure ma'am.
So पुरानी जीन्स और गिटार मोहल्ले की वो छत और मेरे यार कहना सर का get out from the class वो बाहर जाके हमेशा कहना यहाँ का सिस्टम ही है खराब. This is what I get.
Lovely.
Oh, lovely ma'am. A very good ending you gave. I mean, वो कहते हैं ना स्कूल और कॉलेज वाले टाइम याद करा दिया मैम आपने. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am, Sarita ma'am, Ganesh sir, Naren sir, Monica ma'am, and Mayank sir for coming to the show. And hope to see you again in some other episode for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much,
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for a lovely opportunity.
Pleasure is mine, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Wonderful evening and wonderful hearing from every speaker this evening and a lot of learning from each other.
Well, I'll exchange the contacts also with all of you so that you may contact with each other. For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure is mine, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.